Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Marc Marquez claimed his first ever sprint race victory at the Aragon Grand Prix, marking his first win with Ducati and breaking a winless streak of over 1,000 days. However, despite his strong performance, Marquez remains focused on the main race ahead. Here's what the Gresini rider had to say after his dominant display on Saturday. Jorge Martin once again found himself in second place at the MotoGP Aragon Sprint, marking his fifth consecutive runner-up finish. Despite his consistency keeping him atop the World Championship standings, Martin continues to chase Marc Marquez, who delivered a dominant performance in the sprint. In a post-race interview, Martin shared his thoughts on where Marquez gained the upper hand and his own hopes for improvement in the upcoming Grand Prix. Pedro Acosta returned to the podium at the Aragon Grand Prix sprint race after enduring a challenging few weeks. Despite a season that started strong but saw him slip down the rankings, Acosta's performance this weekend marked a significant turnaround. In a candid interview, Acosta reflected on his race, the track conditions, and his admiration for Marc Marquez's recent success. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Marc Marquez started from pole position and never looked back, securing a decisive win in Saturday's sprint race at Motorland Aragon. While the victory was significant, Marquez was quick to downplay its importance, emphasizing that the real challenge lies in Sunday's main race. "It's just a sprint race. I'm aware that it's only a Saturday. But as I've told my team, you have to start somewhere. Or they've told me, because I'm always cautious. Tomorrow is the important one. Obviously tomorrow is the main race. But you have to start somewhere. You have to go through stages," Marquez told. Marquez acknowledged the progress his team has made, but he remains mindful of the challenges that await in the longer race on Sunday. During the post-race interview, Jorge Lorenzo, now a commentator, asked Marquez about his ability to perform while on tracks with low grip. Marquez credited a combination of factors, including his affinity for the Aragon circuit and the favorable track conditions this weekend. "I think it's all the combination of this weekend. It's a circuit that I like, a left-hand circuit. I'm better at left-hand corners. And yesterday the asphalt was better, but the rain last night made it slower. I think it will be faster tomorrow. But anyway, I have the feeling it's easy and good for me. I go out and without pushing the times come out well." Marquez also addressed the potential pitfalls of overconfidence, noting that despite feeling in control, the fine line between success and failure remains. "When you have so much confidence it seems like you can't fall, but it's just a moment." Looking ahead to the main race, Marquez discussed tire strategy and identified his key rivals. He pointed out that while the soft tires performed well in the sprint race, they may not be the best choice for the longer race on Sunday. "In the sprint race, with the soft, we all suffered at the end of the race. So everything points to it being the medium option. I feel pretty good, although we haven't tested it much." When asked about his main competition for the race, Marquez singled out Jorge Martin, who showed strong pace despite a fall in qualifying, and Pecco Bagnaia, who remains a threat with his ability to adapt quickly to changing conditions. "If I have to single out a rival it would be Jorge Martin. Because in the qualifying, without the fall, he would have been second, much closer to our times. And in the race, in the first laps when I pushed hard, he was the only one following me. But without ruling out Pecco Bagnaia, he is capable of turning the corner from one day to the next. The track conditions change a lot, and we will have to be 100% focused," Marquez concluded. Marc Marquez heads into Sunday's race with a mix of confidence and caution, knowing that the main event will be the true test of his and Ducati's progress. With strong rivals like Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia in the mix, the Aragon GP promises to be a thrilling contest. Stay tuned for all the action as we see if Marquez can build on his sprint race success. Jorge Martin's second-place finish at the Aragon Sprint race adds to his recent string of podiums, demonstrating his remarkable consistency. However, the race wasn't without its challenges, especially after a crash in qualifying that shook his confidence. It was a fantastic race. After the crash in qualifying, it was difficult to regain the confidence, but finally I tried to follow Marc Marquez. Quote from Martin. Despite his best efforts to stay close to Marquez, Martin acknowledged that his rival's pace was simply superior, making it impossible for him to close the gap as the race progressed. I tried to stay with him because I thought maybe at the end I could do something. But finally at the end it was impossible, but congrats to him. But I feel confident that I can make a step and fight with him, Martin told by Crash. In analyzing where Marquez gained his advantage, Martin identified specific sectors of the track where the Gresini Ducati rider was noticeably faster. It seems like Sector 4 and Sector 2, most of it he is a bit stronger. He's not that far away, but still there are 2 or 3 corners where he's much faster. So, I will try to take a look into it, try to do my best tomorrow, and try to again finish on the podium. Quote from Martin. Martin remains hopeful that with some adjustments, he can close the gap and possibly challenge Marquez in Sunday's main race. Despite finishing second in the sprint, Martin sees potential for improvement in the Grand Prix, especially with a different tire strategy. He believes that the medium rear tire might help him close the gap to Marquez, who is currently performing at an amazing level. I think with the medium rear tire, we can catch a bit Marc, but still he's in an amazing level. Martin concluded. Martin's focus now shifts to the main race, where he aims to leverage his consistency and newfound insights to mount a stronger challenge against Marquez. Jorge Martin heads into the main race at Aragon with a clear understanding of where he needs to improve to challenge Marc Marquez. With his consistency and determination, Martin remains a formidable contender. All eyes will be on him to see if he can make the necessary adjustments and perhaps turn the tables on his rival. Stay tuned as the battle for the top spot in the World Championship continues to intensify. After struggling in recent races, Pedro Acosta found his way back to the podium at Motorland Aragon, finishing third in the sprint race. The weekend wasn't without its challenges, as Acosta had to navigate through Q1 to secure his place in the race. Reflecting on the weekend, Acosta acknowledged that Friday's difficulties were partly his own doing, but he was pleased with how the team turned things around. It is true that it was my fault that I did not go through to Q2 on Friday, things as they are. But well, I think it was one of the most competitive Q1s because there were a lot of fast people. But I think we were able to turn the situation around, which is the important thing. Quote from Acosta. Acosta also highlighted the challenges at the start of the sprint, where tricky track conditions made the race dangerous, with riders, including himself, struggling for grip. Acosta credited the KTM team's ability to adapt to the challenging conditions at Aragon, noting that the lower grip and dirtier track played to their strengths. This adaptability allowed Acosta to secure a solid third place, despite a domino effect, where the front tires of several riders, including himself, overheated, causing them to lose positions. Marc was very fast, then Martin's front tire got hot while he was behind Marc. He went backwards, and my front tire got hot, so I went backwards. It was a bit of a domino effect. Looking ahead to Sunday's race, Acosta expressed concern over tire choices, noting that the soft tire might not be a viable option for the full race distance due to significant performance drop-offs. Pedro Acosta also took a moment to praise Marc Marquez's incredible performance, which saw the 8-time world champion take a commanding victory. Acosta expressed his admiration for Marquez, noting that his success this weekend was expected given his past performances at Aragon, but still impressive in light of his recent struggles. I'm happy for him. I think he didn't deserve to end his race as expected. And I think that's going to be good for the championship and for the riders who are just starting out, like me. To see the improvement he's had, which is a sign of having a big pair of balls, Acosta concluded. Acosta acknowledged Marquez's ability to excel at certain circuits, even when the odds are against him, describing him as one of those special guys with a unique advantage at specific tracks. Pedro Acosta's return to the podium at Aragon marks a positive step forward after a difficult stretch. With the race weekend still ongoing, Acosta remains focused on adapting to the conditions and making the right choices for Sunday's main event. Meanwhile, his praise for Marc Marquez underscores the respect and admiration he has for the veteran rider's determination and skill. Stay tuned for more updates as the Aragon Grand Prix continues. Thanks for watching ZNGP today. This is your MotoGP news update. See you in the next video.